entitlement is absolutely destroying the WNBA dump. How could you mess this up? After 30 years of irrelevance, after 30 years of playing in high school gyms where the janitors on duty outnumbered the asses in seats, 30 years of playing in empty civic centers, 30 years where the vast majority of the country had forgotten that pretend basketball even existed, the dump finally stumbles upon a once-in-a-lifetime superstar. Caitlin Clark is the equivalent of what Stone Cold Steve Austin was to the WWF in the mid to late 90s. Vince McMahon, at the time, he was on the verge of bankruptcy. The WWF was struggling. They were getting their ass kicked every week in the ratings by Hulk Hogan and WCW. I am a real American. By chance, and the ascension of Stone Cold Steve Austin was 100% organic, but by chance, the WWF stumbled upon a once-in-a-generation star. Since Vince McMahon isn't the president of Club Doofus, he did the exact opposite of what the WNBA did with Caitlin Clark. He didn't diminish Steve Austin. He didn't allow wannabe stars and jealous role players to publicly discredit him. Vince McMahon took advantage of Austin's star power, his drawing power, and it saved the company. It literally changed the business and the future of the industry. Due to weak leadership or a complete lack of leadership, the WNBA dump did the exact opposite with Caitlin Clark. And now, because the diva of dump divas, Kat Engelbert, has allowed the entitlement to become so rampant, the WNBA is at serious risk of canceling next season, which would likely destroy the remaining drawing power of Caitlin Clark. You know, one of the main problems with the ongoing negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement in the WNBA, both sides are far too emotional, which is understandable because women are emotional thinkers. Emotional thinking is great when raising a family. Emotional thinking is an advantage when creating stories or writing romance novels. But with business, with money, emotional thinking can be detrimental. When we were in college, my sister worked at a bank. She remained at the bank after she graduated. My sister is brilliant with finance, with numbers. She could have had a very lucrative career in banking. But a couple of years after she graduated, she left the bank and took a finance position in a male-dominated industry. Why? Because she got tired of dealing with the constant drama. She got tired of the cattiness. She got tired of the constant bickering over nothing. You put a group of women in an office for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, there's going to be arguments. There's going to be jealousy, resentment. If Susie gets promoted, Sally will openly question why she wasn't promoted. If Beulah receives unlimited overtime, Gertrude will demand overtime even though she only works part-time. If you look at most reality shows on TV, the vast majority of reality shows, they are focused on women. Why? Because women know how to provide drama. Ironically enough, the drama is actually good for the WNBA. The problem is, it puts the league in a precarious position because the unknown players providing the drama, the unknown players who are jealous of Caitlin Clark, they are supporting actors who believe they're main characters. They're essentially extras who believe they are stars, and they are demanding to be paid like stars, which puts the WNBA in a lose-lose situation that they can't get out of. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fluffer Noggin. I'm not a big snacker. I don't eat a lot of junk food, but if there's one time of year where I break this habit, it's during football season. One of my favorite snacks to eat while I'm watching NFL Red Zone on Sunday afternoons, beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet beef jerky from Fluffer Noggin. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell is a Fluffer Noggin? Fluffer Noggin is gourmet beef jerky that's 100% made here in America. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows. All these cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffer Noggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. First beef jerky I've ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffer Noggin comes in a variety of flavors, ranging from mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They even have a flavoring of craft beer. Or if you like me, you just stick with the original style. Fluffer Noggin beef jerky is the perfect stocking stuffer for Christmas. They're running a promotion during the holidays, so click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL30, BTL30. Receive 30% off your first purchase with Fluffer Noggin. Headline at The Athletic: WNBA players demanding more than double the money offered by the league. The primary hangup in the negotiations has been revenue sharing. NBA players receive 50% of the revenue that's generated by the league. Since WNBA players are blinded by entitlement, since WNBA players play the same sport as NBA players, although the basketball in the WNBA is obviously pretend, while the NBA is real. Comparing the WNBA to the NBA is like comparing the WWE to the UFC. One is real, the other is an illusion. WNBA players believe they're entitled to a similar revenue sharing system that we see in the NBA. Right now, the league is offering players around 15% of their revenue. As a result, the average WNBA player would go from making minimum wage to making $500,000 a year, while max contract players, star players, which in the case of the WNBA, there are only 3 stars in the league: Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Angel Reese. Well, Uncle KC, what about A'ja Wilson? She's a huge star! AJ? She's a star? The same AJ Wilson who couldn't sell out the WNBA finals when the boiled wiener at the concession stand was more expensive than the price of admission? That AJ is a star? Max contract players in the WNBA would make $1.2 million a year, and the compensation, it would be in dollars, not pesos or Ethiopian breadcrumbs. Now, to me, this sounds like a fair deal. The average WNBA player would achieve her lifelong dream of becoming a thousandaire, and the best player on each team would become a millionaire. Considering the fact that damn near every player in the league is incapable of drawing flies to a fresh turd, I think this proposal from the WNBA is more than reasonable. Unfortunately, WNBA players do not agree. They are demanding 30% of the league's revenue. They are demanding double the money that the WNBA is offering. And for the first time ever, players have serious leverage in these negotiations. Well, KC, that's right. Unrivaled is offering players the opportunity to earn 6 figures in 8 weeks. Unrivaled is on the verge of extinction. At this point, Unrivaled is like a wart on an elephant's ass. They are irrelevant. This new startup league, though, Project B, it is a serious threat to the WNBA. I think the reason WNBA players are demanding over $2 million a year, that's how much Project B is offering them as a startup. And believe it or not, I actually understand where the players are coming from. How in the hell can a startup afford to offer $2 million a year while this unprofitable dump that's backed by the NBA is offering half that amount? According to Front Office Sports, Project B has already signed major stars in the WNBA. Check out this list of high-profile VIPs. Al Thomas, John Q. Jones, who I believe was the inspiration for the character that was played by Denzel Washington 20 years ago. Kelsey Mitchell. Who, and who? These lovely ladies couldn't draw ratings if you gave them pen and paper. The only star I saw on that list was Sophie Cunningham. Either way, though, does not matter. The only thing that matters is Project B is offering $2 million a year and the WNBA is not. According to Kelsey Plum, or as she's known by her colleagues at Roto-Rooter, Kelsey the Plumber. According to Kelsey, both sides are nowhere close to getting a deal done, even though they've been negotiating for months. They're at a standstill. Neither side is willing to budge. And with each passing day, it becomes increasingly likely that the prediction Uncle KC made this time last year will be proven right. With each passing day, it becomes more and more likely that the 2026 WNBA season is going to be canceled. Like I've told you guys before, I understand where both sides are coming from. WNBA players see expansion teams paying hundreds of millions of dollars to open new dumps. They see the massive influx of revenue. They see faces in the crowd instead of empty seats. They see the ratings on television, and they want to be fairly compensated. I get it. But I also understand the extreme hesitation from the league. Angel Reese is not a draw. She wasn't selling out games at LSU, damn sure doesn't sell out in Chicago. Overall interest in Angel Reese has massively declined in the last couple of years. Earlier this morning, I looked at her YouTube channel for the first time in months. I'd actually forgotten that Angel Reese was still doing a podcast. Most of her videos are struggling to get 1,000 views. There is a difference between being famous and being a star. There is a difference between having name recognition and being someone that people are willing to watch, people are willing to pay to see. Sophie Cunningham is a rising star, but can she carry the WNBA? I don't know. And the league doesn't know either. They are 100% reliant on Caitlin Clark, and the truth is, her drawing power has been diminished. One of the reasons Caitlin Clark was so popular in the WNBA, through no fault of her own, she was a magnet to controversy. The jealousy, the resentment, the fabricated racism. All of this controversy drove mainstream interest. You didn't have any of that last year. Now, sure, Caitlin Clark missed most of the season, but even when she played, the controversy, for the most part, had subsided. If you remove the storylines, all you're left with is the product on the court, which is the drizzling shits. And we have 30 years of evidence proving pretend basketball does not draw. Again, the WNBA isn't a lose-lose. You either overpay the players and risk the future of the league, or you stand your ground and you still risk the future of the league by canceling the 2026 season. What do? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.